Senior observer Crethval of the Galactic Documentation Council pressed his membrane against the viewing screen. His four eyes blinked in sequence as he reviewed the latest transmission from monitoring station 447. The report made no sense. He read it again. Then he called for his assistant. "Yenny, come look at this immediately," he said. The younger observer floated into the chamber and positioned herself beside her superior. She scanned the data on the screen, and her tentacles curled in confusion. "This cannot be accurate," she said. "The sensors must be broken." "I checked them twice," Crethval replied. "They are functioning perfectly." The report showed something impossible. Human colonists had landed on volcanic world VX7, a planet that the Galactic Council had marked as completely uninhabitable 3,000 years ago. The surface temperature averaged 400 degrees in the cool regions. Volcanic eruptions happened every few hours. Rivers of liquid rock covered most of the land. The atmosphere contained toxic gases that would dissolve the lungs of any known species within minutes. Yet the humans had been there for 6 standard months, and they were still alive. "Begin formal observation protocol," Crethval ordered. "I want every detail recorded. The Council will need to see this." The first observation report was filed the following day. It documented the initial human landing site, a narrow strip of hardened volcanic rock between 2 active lava flows. The humans had chosen this location specifically because the constant volcanic activity provided geothermal energy. They had drilled deep into the planet's crust and installed power generators that converted the extreme heat into electricity. The observers watched in disbelief as human engineers walked across ground that would have killed any other species instantly. The humans wore specialized suits that they had designed specifically for this environment. The suits contained multiple cooling systems, air filtration units, and thick layers of heat-resistant materials. When one suit showed signs of damage, the humans simply repaired it and continued working. "Note for the record," Crethval dictated. "Human colonists display no fear of environment. They treat volcanic eruptions as minor inconveniences rather than deadly threats." When a small eruption occurred approximately 200 meters from their camp, they paused their work briefly, observed the lava flow direction, and then resumed their activities. The second observation report came 1 month later. The humans had expanded their settlement. They had constructed buildings using materials harvested from the volcanic rock itself. They melted the stone, shaped it, and allowed it to cool into strong structures. The observers noted that this construction method was remarkably efficient. The planet provided unlimited building materials, and the humans needed only to collect and reshape them. The human colony now had 12 permanent structures. There was a main living quarters, a medical facility, a food production center, a research laboratory, and several storage buildings. The colonists had also built a protective wall around their settlement to redirect lava flows away from their buildings. Query for the record. Yenny added to the report. How did humans develop the psychological resilience to live in such conditions? Most species would experience severe mental breakdown within hours of landing on this world. The humans appear calm and focused. They have even been observed laughing and engaging in recreational activities during their rest periods. The third observation report documented something that shocked the entire monitoring station. The humans had begun farming. On an active volcanic planet where nothing should grow, the humans had created enclosed agricultural facilities. They used the abundant geothermal energy to power grow lights. They filtered water from deep underground sources. They had brought soil microbes from their home world and cultivated them in protected environments. Within 3 months, they were growing vegetables. "Impossible," said Council Member Threxelm when he reviewed the report. "Food production requires stable conditions, temperature regulation, protection from contamination. These humans are attempting to grow living plants on a world that destroys all organic matter. They are succeeding," Crethval corrected him. Our latest observations show healthy plant growth in all 5 agricultural domes. The humans expect to achieve food self-sufficiency within 1 standard year. The 4th observation report detailed a near disaster and the human response to it. A massive volcanic eruption occurred just 50 meters from the colony's eastern boundary. The eruption was larger than anything recorded in the previous decade. Lava flowed directly toward the human settlement at a speed that would have overwhelmed their defensive walls within minutes. The observers expected to document the destruction of the colony. They prepared to record the final moments of this foolish human experiment. Instead, they watched the humans mobilize with incredible speed and coordination. Engineers activated emergency pumping systems that drew cold water from underground reservoirs and sprayed it toward the advancing lava. The water cooled the rock enough to slow its progress. Meanwhile, other colonists worked to reinforce the defensive walls with additional material. The colony leader, a woman named Chen Wei, stood at the front of the defensive effort. She directed her people with calm authority while lava crept closer to their position. She did not retreat. She did not panic. She simply solved each problem as it appeared. After 4 hours of continuous effort, the humans had successfully diverted the lava flow. Their colony survived. The observers recorded that not a single human had been injured during the emergency. Additional note, Crethval added. Following the near destruction of their settlement, the humans did not discuss evacuation or abandonment. They immediately began planning improvements to their defensive systems to prevent similar situations in the future. One colonist was heard saying that they now understood the planet better and would use this knowledge to build stronger. The 5th observation report came after the humans had been on the planet for 1 full standard year. The colony had grown from the original 37 colonists to over 200. New ships had arrived carrying additional settlers, equipment, and supplies. The humans were not abandoning their volcanic world. They were expanding their presence on it. The settlement now covered an area 10 times larger than the original camp. The humans had built roads connecting different sections of their colony. They had constructed manufacturing facilities that produced tools and equipment from local materials. They had established communication systems that allowed them to monitor volcanic activity across the entire region. Most remarkably, the humans had begun to view the volcanic environment not as an enemy but as a resource. They harvested rare minerals from cooling lava flows. They captured volcanic gases and processed them into useful chemicals. They used the constant seismic activity to generate additional power. Observation assessment, Yenny recorded. Human colonists have demonstrated successful adaptation to conditions previously classified as universally lethal. They have not merely survived on volcanic world VX7. They have begun to thrive. The 6th observation report documented the birth of the first child on the volcanic planet. A human couple had chosen to have their baby in the colony rather than returning to a safer world. The child was born healthy and strong in the colony's medical facility, while eruptions lit the sky outside. The observers struggled to understand this decision. Why would any species to bring new life into such a dangerous environment? When they reviewed human communications, they found the answer in a statement from the child's father. "This is our home now," he had said. "Our daughter will grow up knowing that humans can live anywhere. She will never believe that any challenge is too great. She will look at fire and see warmth, not destruction." The 7th observation report examined the psychological effects of long-term residence on the volcanic planet. The observers expected to find signs of stress, trauma, and mental deterioration. Instead, they found a community that had developed a unique culture centered on resilience and cooperation. The colonists had created traditions around volcanic events. When major eruptions occurred, they gathered together to watch the spectacular displays of light and power. They had named significant volcanic features and told stories about them. They had developed songs and artwork inspired by their fiery world. Children in the colony learned about volcanic science from their first years. They understood the planet's geology better than most alien scientists. They did not fear the eruptions because they understood them. Knowledge had replaced fear. Cultural note, Crethval recorded. Human colonists have transformed their relationship with hostile environment from opposition to partnership. They speak of the planet with affection rather than resentment. Several colonists have stated that they would never want to live anywhere else. The eighth observation report addressed a question that had puzzled the entire Galactic Council. Why had the humans chosen this planet in the first place? The galaxy contained millions of worlds with pleasant climates and stable conditions. Why select one of the most dangerous environments known to exist? The answer came from intercepted communications between the colony and human government officials. The volcanic world contained massive deposits of rare minerals essential for advanced technology. These minerals were worth more than the entire economic output of many settled worlds. The humans had decided that the potential reward justified the extreme risk. But there was more to the decision than simple economics. The humans also wanted to prove something. They wanted to demonstrate that their species could overcome any obstacle. They wanted to show the galaxy that no environment was beyond human capability. Assessment update, Yenny noted. Human motivation appears to combine practical economic interests with deep psychological need to test and exceed perceived limits. This combination produces extraordinary willingness to accept danger and hardship. The ninth observation report came 3 years after the initial landing. The volcanic colony had become a major economic center. Mining operations extracted billions of credits worth of rare minerals. Processing facilities converted raw materials into finished products. Trading ships arrived regularly to transport goods across the galaxy. The colony population had grown to over 5,000 humans. They had built schools, hospitals, entertainment facilities, and parks. Yes, parks. The humans had created enclosed green spaces where colonists could relax among plants and trees, while volcanoes erupted beyond the protective domes. The observers noted that the colony had attracted attention from other species. Some alien merchants had begun visiting the volcanic world to conduct business. A few had even expressed interest in establishing permanent trading posts. The humans welcomed them with typical warmth and hospitality. Historical significance assessment, Crethval recorded. Human colonization of volcanic world. VX-7 represents fundamental challenge to established understanding of habitable environments. Previous galactic consensus held that intelligent species require stable, moderate conditions for long-term survival. Humans have proven this consensus incorrect. The final observation report in the initial documentation series was filed 5 years after the humans first landed. The volcanic colony had become a permanent, thriving civilization. Third-generation colonists were being born who had never known any other home. The economy was strong. The population was healthy. The culture was vibrant. Most significantly, the humans had begun planning expansion to other volcanic worlds. They had identified 12 additional planets with similar conditions and valuable resources. Survey teams were already conducting preliminary assessments. The humans intended to build a network of volcanic colonies across the galaxy. Crethval completed his summary report to the Galactic Council with a simple conclusion that would be studied by alien scholars for centuries to come. Recommendation: reclassification of volcanic world VX-7 from uninhabitable to human settled. Additional recommendation: revision of all habitability standards to include notation that classifications do not apply to human colonization efforts. Final recommendation: continued observation of human species with highest priority. These beings do not accept the limits that govern other species. They see obstacles as opportunities. They find resources in disasters. They build civilizations in places where civilizations should not exist. The galaxy has never encountered a species like this before. We must understand them better because they will almost certainly change everything we believe about what is possible. The report was filed. The observations continued. And on the surface of a world made of fire and destruction, human children played in parks while their parents built the future.